Hey guys, my name is Cerebellum and today we're doing a replay review of Godsend's Windranger. Now, I just did a replay review of a Witch Doctor game that was about 3.6k MMR on the SEA server, and this is, I don't know which server this is, but it's around 800 MMR, so this is going to be a pretty stark contrast. And I have to say, so far for 800 MMR, I'm really liking what I'm seeing. Yeah, we've got some very sensible starting items here. We've got some wards, some tangos, and healing salve, and the Mantle of Intelligence and the Ironwood Branch. I can talk about those in a little bit, why I don't think those are really appropriate here. Actually, I'm going to go back a little bit just because I want to see what he purchases for his starting items. See, usually would be around here, yeah. A little bit further, so yeah. Okay, so it looks like he did purchase the wards. Let's just see. Yeah, he did purchase the wards. So he purchased
30 seconds.
Yeah,
to
that isn't because someone else gave him a ward. And so he is basically, when you buy wards, that's a solid signal that you think you're playing support. He is going to be in a dual lane here. Quickly about Windranger, she's a kind of, you can play as a core or as a support. She's got a really good disable in shackle shot. If you can hit it, which is to say, if you can actually shackle the target. I hope you can hear me over this. I hope if you can actually shackle the target to something. If there's a direct, if there's something close enough directly behind the target from where you hit it, then it'll shackle them together, and it'll be a lot longer of a stun than the normal duration. The normal duration is 0.75 seconds, and even at level 1 it'll be twice that if you actually manage to shackle them together. This could be another hero you shackle them together with, in which case at level 4 you will be shackling 2 heroes or stunning 2 heroes together for nearly 4 seconds, or 3.75 seconds. So very good ability. Skilling a power shot first is pretty decent. This is a very weird lane they've got going. Enchantress and Windranger, although thematically pleasing, it's not the most effective. Certainly not running Enchantress in the off lane seems very weird to me. She pretty much really just needs to...
First blood.
What? Okay, so the Enchantress just heals up and man fights the Drow. The Drow actually chose to man fight the Enchantress right away. Okay, so quick level 2 here for the Windranger, managed to tag onto that kill. Very nice so far. So, one thing I don't like about... She is an int hero. Like, normally you see bow, okay, it's an agility hero, but the Windranger is an int hero, so probably these 2 items are purchased with an intent to boost the last hitting potential. Which, you know, if you think you're the farmer in the lane, that makes a lot of sense. Good nuke there. Would have loved to see that timed so it could actually hit the creeps and take last hits. It did hit the creeps, it didn't take any last hits. Now, stunning the Zeus there, not the best choice, I think. Definitely, you know, a typical thing we see here from newbies is that they are way too generous with the mana. We see her already really low on mana, so if an engagement comes, she won't be able to do too much. She'll be able to use one ability. There we go, very nice shackle, both. See there, a lot of stun coming out. The Zeus actually in a bit of trouble now. If they can get 2 more shots, Zeus isn't too fast. Yeah, so I would have loved to see Windrun spect, but if they feel like they can be aggressive in the lane, this is a good build. But already we see that she is effectively out of mana, and you know, when you don't even have a clarity, I think that was a bad course of action. Not even looking for a deny here. Should probably have done that. Should probably be looking to deny these, even though the enemies aren't nowhere near.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Very nice, queuing up the flying courier for purchase. Again, a bit too eager on the shackle shot here. Need to look more for opportunities where the Enchantress can back you up and you maybe get a kill, and more for angles actually. The angle before was very nice, where you managed to shackle someone into someone else. But if you don't manage to do that, then this is not worth it. And you are, even though you are an int hero, you don't have that much mana. Like 400 mana pool at level 3 isn't super impressive.
Tower is under attack.
And I think certainly you should probably go for boots.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, definitely go for boots before going up to this Null Talisman. Now, if this was a mid-Enchantress, I would like this Null Talisman a lot better, since the mid-Enchantress is a lot more reliant on getting last hits. But here you're taking much more of a supporting role. I would love to see actually a bottle, something like that, some mana regen. If you want to use a lot of mana here, it's one of the big weak points is that she doesn't have that much mana to work with. And we can see now your potential is basically you can shoot people, and maybe if you use your magic stick, you will have one spell. So that's not the best, that's not the greatest. I do like the scaling up here. Very offensive build, doesn't expect to be running, doesn't really think she'll need that wind run. Blind power shot. I don't think you need that. I don't think you need that at all.
Healing power.
Enchantress just kind of doing her thing. Kind of a weird, not taking any creeps. Enchantress here.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
So if we look at the last hits,
bottom tower is under attack.
Omni Knight is leading. Okay, the Omni Knight is leading on last hits. We have 14 on the Luna. That is actually more than I expected for an 800 MMR game. Oh, the Supes goes too far forward, and they just right click him down. Wow, that's pretty good.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So far things are looking pretty good. Like for our Windranger here, she's got an assist. Ooh, she moves down here. Sees a lot of action down here. But now she's alone against 3. This was, I think, maybe not the time to go down here. Maybe wait until you have backup. Now she'll need to use her wand. Looking for her to use her magic stick. Could have had a chance to kill that Legion commander if she used her power shot. It is level 3 now. So if she just used her magic stick.
I'll return the favor.
Oh, someone actually gave her a potion, and there you go. There's the magic stick. Doesn't manage to latch the shackle shot. Needed a better angle on it. Maybe I should explain. Next time we see your shackle shot missed, yeah, there we go.
Radiant's top.
We'll just pause here. I'll go back and we can explain exactly how that works, just so we know why that didn't work right before. So there we go. See, and see here it's cast. So the way this is calculated, the way it determines whether or not you shackle him to anything, is if there's anything directly behind him. So we see the line going from the Windranger to the Bloodseeker, and we just continue this line, and we have directly behind it. So we don't know how far it is. At most 500 behind it. 500 is about here. That's about the range, I think. Probably, no, maybe a little bit more, maybe out here. Yeah, something like that. It's not super far behind, but in any case, like if we continue the line here, there's basically nothing behind the Bloodseeker here. Had our Windranger stood over here, maybe we could have latched to this tree. If you had stood right here, we could have latched to the Legion Commander. So right here would have been optimal. Maybe you wait for the Bloodseeker to move a little bit and then cast it, because it doesn't have the biggest animation. Maybe you can just time it a little bit, but be a little bit more careful with this timing here, because it is pretty important. We see there we get our 0.75 second stun out of that, and that's for 110 mana. I think that's pretty expensive.
Radiant structures are fortified.
So at level 6, I like her not going her ulti. The ulti is mostly useful once you have a really mean right click. Again, shackle shot, nothing directly behind it. So you might think it wraps around, it doesn't, it's just directly behind it. That's the way it's calculated. It's not a very intuitive skill, so...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So at level 6, I really want her to have one level in Windrun. It's a fantastic escape ability. You can even use it to chase up, or just to give you a bit of damage immunity if you end up in a trading situation. Like right here, it would be pretty good. Go, again manages not to latch anything, but there's enough damage here. And... dueling on the tower, not recommended. I would not recommend it, bad for your health.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Another crucial thing at this point is, even though, okay, scaled up the ult over, I think that point should probably go into Windrun or maxing out the power shot. This ult is not gonna do super much right now. You'll see, I'm just gonna explain this real quick. So, your right click right now is 80. 80 is not fantastic. 80 is very mediocre for right click. And the way Focus Fire works is it gives you a lot of attack speed at the expense of reducing your attack damage to 50%. So usually the situation you see this used in, the situation you see when pros use this is that they get items like Maelstrom that can proc by attacks. So you say, okay, I just want the attack speed. That's all I want. I want something that can proc, something that has a chance of going off every time I shoot. So a lot of shots obviously gives me a lot of potency for that ability. Or you get an Aghanims and you get a big int item, usually an Orchid or Sheepstick, Scythe of Wise, and that kind of gives you both the reduction, both the damage reduction you take from using Focus Fire gets a lot reduced from the Aghanims, and you also have a hefty buff to your right click damage. So it'll actually be worth it like that. But here it's not worth it because again your mana is already really stressed, and also it would be just better to max out your Shackle Shot or your Power Shot. And certainly Wind Run would also have more potency. Basically your shots, when you take half of them now and then you reduce it with armor, it's gonna do nearly nothing. It's gonna be like pinpricks. Very little damage. You do have 900 gold. I would love to see you picking up at least boots here. Come on, really need some boots. Heading into Arcane Boots, also a really solid move on this girl. And I would have loved to see that. Would very much love to see that. But it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. So again, now we TP in on this situation here, and we feel the effect of not having enough mana to actually use one of our spells. So we just kind of TP in on half-life, and with no spells to use, we are not gonna have a lot of effect on the situation here. The enemies choose to back off, mainly because of the Enchantress and the Luna, if they were thinking about it, but of course, 800 MMR, they could just have looked at how many were here. So she does use her Focus Fire on the tower. That is the best, one of the basic uses for it, but it really isn't. It doesn't do very much on the tower before you get more damage. We see the tower basically not caring for the Focus Fire at the moment. Really, she should head over here. Should head over here and get her boots. She just needs boots badly. And Magic Wand, I would not upgrade it at this point. I would say stick on the Magic Stick. Just sell the Armored Branches if you're backing inventory space and get something better.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
No, sell. Oh, that's painful. She could have actually had Arcane Boots there. She could have just bought Arcane Boots, and she just kind of TP'd out because she didn't have room. And now she's getting a Basilisk instead. Basilisk and Phase instead. Phase isn't too bad either. Go. Okay, and she knows to stand still. So I think I'm actually gonna go back here. I'm gonna go back and look at that engagement again and explain exactly what's going on and what I like and don't like here. So let's see. Come on. I hope not too much gets fucked up here. So there we go. Bounty Hunter. Basically the Omni Knight just walks right in here and just going right up next to an Omni Knight that has that scary heal / nuke around himself. And that nuke is super scary because it is pure damage. Now the Legion Commander goes in, duels. This means the Morphling can't escape, but it also gives us a good opportunity to... If they had just been able to put a little bit more damage on her there, the Morphling would actually have gotten the bonus damage from the duel. I like the Power Shot from the Windranger, as I mentioned. Her right clicks aren't that scary, and she does know not to move around in the Rupture, Bloodseeker's ultimate, which does deal damage to you depending on how much you move. So yeah, probably actually I would have liked the Shackle Shot more than the Power Shot there. But yeah, that might have saved the Morphling. But we'll see. It was decent anyway. And there she needs to wakey a bit. Does manage to get herself cancelled.
My quiver is empty.
Ooh, chose to man fight the Bloodseeker. Bad choice. Very bad choice. need to pay a little bit more attention to your own situation there. Could have just, if you pinched him here when he's coming this way, you could have just killed him. And this is a hallmark of kind of newbie play to me, is just kind of looking at not doing anything while you're dead, and that's
Dire's middle tower. Yeah. Dire's structures are fortified.
So she's going for mech. I normally like this item a lot, but I think her mana pool might be too stressed
Dire's bottom
to
tower
use it here, and I also think this Basilisk is pretty random. Not liking that super much. I like that she's heading up top here to defend, but I don't know if she'll be able to alone.
Tower is under attack.
The power shot killing the creeps there means Zeus ended up taking a lot of tower hits, which was not very good for him.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Wounded to my heart.
Again, a shackle shot was nothing to latch on to. Get caught out alone. Good wind run. Good wind run. Very nice play from the Omni Knight there. That was very high level stuff for 800 MMR. Blinking into a Purify. That's pretty advanced. So what now? Okay. Well, we'll just yeah, get past that. I like her checking out the enemy's inventories while the game is paused. That's pretty good. I don't think she should hang out to this this tank or just sell it. Yeah. And honestly, I think that's also one thing I want to talk about really quickly. Inventory space is a very finite thing, and knowing what you need to fill it up with is also a very finite thing. And if you're planning to go into mech, building an Aquila at like 12-15 minutes into the game, maybe not the best thing. Maybe the buckler is a lot better to just have in your inventory, since it actually gives you more armor, and it's just a bigger item, better item. So I think this Aquila and this Null Talisman at this point are just awkward things to have in your inventory at this point. They just kind of fill up the whole thing, and it would be better just to have, you know, okay, Magic Wand, Phase Boots. You need room for your Observer Ward, you need room for your Town Portal, and just reserve the other two for big items, I think would be better. Or just components, like if you're building into a mech anyway, you can just have the components, which are, like, certainly the buckler is worthwhile just having in your inventory over one of these. Certainly that will be a lot better. So think a little bit about what you spend your inventory real estate on. She is spending a lot of time warding. I think this is pretty good. I think any wards that are decently placed at this level is probably pretty good. Not gonna spend too long time on that. More interested in her choices, her decision making here. Now, there we go, Bloodseeker moves in behind them. He does have a speed boost, and he does have phase boost, so they can't actually really catch up to him here.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Except one of them goes, Enchantress goes to just fight this Bloodseeker, and she's definitely gonna die up there.
Is under attack.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at what happens up here. Yeah, the Enchantress definitely died. It took a lot longer for them to kill the Enchantress than I thought it would. Yeah, now they are... Again, the Enchantress overestimating her damage quite a lot here, and overestimating her ability to fight quite a lot there. That was not a situation you should really look to go in on. Should probably, in that situation, look to stand right down here, throw up the power shot, and throw out the shackles, try to shackle someone to this tree, or try to shackle them together as they come down here, and then just try to stay on the outskirts of the fight and leave. Because you certainly, the Bloodseeker, you don't have very much hope of killing. It's certainly not. If he has a poor man's shield, your ultimate does nothing. Without serious firepower, without a serious offensive item or two, your ultimate with 50% reduction, let's say you have around 100 damage, 50% reduction puts it down to 50. The Bloodseeker, he's got 11 armor. 11 armor will put him at, what is it, 30%? 30... It might be 30, let's just see. It might be 40% damage reduction. So we take 40% of the 50 damage away, so that leaves 60% of that. Let's say 35. No, 30 damage. 30 damage, and we're down at. Okay, then we have the Poor Man's Shield. Poor Man's Shield will always block attacks from enemy heroes, so it'll always take away 20 damage. So you're down to 10 damage. So that means every shot, even though you get maxed attack speed, even though you get a lot of shots, let's say I think it might be 5 shots a second. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure what the max attack speed. But even if it's 5 shots a second, that puts your damage per second at 50. You're doing 10 damage per shot. It is literally nothing. You're literally wasting your mana trying to use this ability on the Bloodseeker. It's so inefficient. I just wanted to really stress how inefficient that is, and how much better this skill point at level 7 on this would have been spent on the Wind Run. And if you want to make use of this, you need probably a good offensive item like a Mjolnir, or Maelstrom probably, a Maelstrom, or an Orchid, or a Scythe of Vice, and then an Aghanim's. Then this ability starts to be really good. Before that, it's one of the things that's really critiqued about it, that it's just not very useful. So we've got our mech. That's pretty good for our team, and this looks like, you know, with this kind of setup, I would be looking to fight a lot as a team. So I would tag along a lot with our carries, our Luna and our Morphling, and try to make sure they don't get killed, and if someone goes for them, we just try to see if we can punish them for that. Alright, let's see what the Windranger here tries to do. I haven't seen this replay before, so just kind of casting off the cup. We see the enemies. One good place to place wards. I said I wouldn't talk about wards very much, but we are going to talk about this real quick. We see the enemies right down here. Right here. They're in the Roche Pit. They're doing Roche. And pretty much from the 15-minute point on, certainly once the game leaves the laning stage, I would say is a really good time to always have the Roche Pit warded. I'm going to put things into free camera really quick. I have to place it here. There we go. And I'm going to explain really quick. So, the pivotal thing is to spot them while they go in here. They can smoke up and just bypass the wards, but that means forces them to smoke, and I haven't seen anyone below like 2 KMMR actually do that. So that's a solid technique, warding this place, and it's something I definitely think, you know, learning at this point would be very good. So the places you look to ward is, there's a very good spot right here for it, that's very uncommonly dewarded. There's a very good spot right here, that's more commonly dewarded. There's a good spot right here, that's more for protecting your jungle, but you know, it can spot a lot here, but it's a better ward early on, just to spot anyone trying to go into your jungle and get kills that way. You can also put it here anywhere there's these eye markers. Those are the suggested, basically Valve's suggested places for you to put them. Though this of course will be dewarded very often. So don't try to ward up here around. There's an invisible barrier right here that'll just block all the vision coming down here, so you'll just see a tiny area up here. So the main areas right here, right here, right here, and right here on this thing. And the point here is we need to spot them while they go into the Roche Pit, so they can't just take Roshan. If those wards keep getting dewarded, you know, you can place one over here-ish. Normally you don't place the sentry over here, you place it down here-ish, just to see if you can find more wards. So one over here is a bit tricky, that you can do. You can also place one over here though. Again, those won't really cover the Roshan pit super much. You can also be super tricky and place one over here, and if you see large hero movements, you can kind of guess where they're going, or try to place one over in this area and try to spot them out as they go this way in towards the Roche Pit. So that's kind of one thing that's gone wrong right now, is they don't have any idea they're doing Roshan, and it's a lot to ask at 800 MMR, but still it's a big deal. Like, it'll be very hard to take them down once they get Roshan. We'll put it over to their perspective again, and look at our Windrunner here. Aha! This is a good defensive ward because they've lost all their towers down here.
Has fallen to the
But Roshan managed to get taken down. They have a lot of damage. So, a lot of wards being thrown down. Largely pretty defensive, I think, and I think that's pretty appropriate given the state of the game. Monage.
Dire's top
Monage.
tower is under attack.
Yeah, Bloodseeker having a good time. Let's just see. Yeah, 11 and 4. 11 and 3 Omni Knight. Yeah, this Omni Knight definitely a bit of a column above the rest of the players here, I would say. Probably.
Dire's
Maybe a
top
lot of the
tower
players
is
don't have a
under
lot of
attack.
idea of what Omni Knight does. He is a pretty advanced mechanical hero, in the sense that he does tricky things. And now the Windranger is pretty overextended. I don't think, you know, the Legion, again, like without this focus fire being able to do much for you, without a solid right click, you don't have a lot to actually threaten this Legion commander with, and I would very much use my magic wand here. Nice.
Thank you.
Very good assistance there from the Enchantress. This Enchantress, I have to say I like her
Radiant's
playstyle.
middle
It might
tower
not be the
is
most
under attack.
effective, but I find it pretty entertaining. So,
Radiant's
but
middle tower has
the
fallen.
Enchantress is kind of just running around doing her own thing here. And I think instead of going up here, spawning out on the minimap, you put all these useful wards and spawning out that your barracks is being pressured here in a very large offensive movement.
Radiant's middle tower
Probably
is
go
under
back
attack.
and join up the fight here. She is going for a
Radiant's
sheep stick
bottom
now, which is a
tower
very
is
good
under
item for
attack.
her. And the reason why this is such a good item for her is if you see here, this golden... Oh, okay. Do you see the golden ring around the intelligence symbol down there? I can't mouse over it because then this lovely interface everyone fucking adores comes up. I hate the new changes to this, by the way. This is so inconvenient. But yeah, this golden ring right under this display here means that this is a primary attribute. And the reason why Sheepstick is an unusually good item on her is that she's somewhat of an intelligence-based right-clicker. There aren't super many of those in the game. Others would include like Silencer, Outworld Devourer, Skywrath Mage maybe? Yeah, but she basically gets a better right click as well as a little bit of tank and a lot of mana she desperately needs, in addition to of course being able to turn enemies into sheep, which is super useful. One thing that's not super useful is trying to defend while 3 of your teammates are dead. So a pretty common mistake they've done here is that they tried to defend without their entire team, and you know, she should have definitely had a TP and definitely just seen this coming. You know, when they cross the line over here, you see the bunch of enemies move down, try to pick up on that, try to be home for the defense. There we go. Nice, easy. With all the heroes here, this Bloodseeker basically has no chance, even with Aegis. He doesn't have any backup.
Radiant's
Why?
top
Okay.
tower has fallen.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower is
So they
under
managed to kill
attack.
the Bloodseeker, the Bounty Hunter managed to die as well. This Windranger is just saying nope, just doesn't want to join the fight at all. I think this is a huge
Radiant's
mistake.
top tower is under
Should
attack.
have, like, anytime you get mech, you're basically saying I want to be in fights. Because mechanism is for fights. You can use it to prevent ganks on yourself like you've done here, but it's basically for use in fights. That's the best thing you can use it for, is when you're in a huge team fight and just heal everyone on your team for 250. But we see also that she's constantly low on mana. I think honestly just going for this before the mech would probably be good. Just leave the mech to the the Enchantress probably. I would leave the mech to the Enchantress to buy and just go for the big item, the big int item here. Nice ultimate from Luna there, really turning around the fight. We see the effect of Bloodseeker's bloodbath there. Just the Bounty Hunter dying kept the Bloodseeker alive a lot. If you're gonna save up money here, I think you should definitely get the Mystic Staff before the ultimate orb. Usually you want to buy the big items first, and these big recipes, we have a 2700 item. If you can finish that, your chances of actually finishing the item fast is very much better. And it will also have the bigger single item effect in your inventory. It's more inventory space efficient. So, trying to fight here 2 against a lot. Not a fan of that. Looks like it is gonna work somewhat. Oh, pretty close. Oh, they got her. She might have
Dire's
stopped or
bottom
something. I
tower
don't see
is
how they
under
got her there,
attack.
but they got her.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire's structures.
But yeah,
are
another reason why the
fortified.
mech isn't super good, she's constantly low on mana. Like, she just doesn't have the mana to use it.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
So, she kind of sacrificed herself for a tower there, and they just lost 3, so they should lose a set of racks over this, and that's not worth it. She's just kinda... I'm still on her camera, so she's just kinda looking at weird shit. Luna... dying, yeah. Now I think definitely. Without, like, they're still missing 2 for a significant period of time. The enemies are completely... have a completely full lineup, so...
tower is under attack.
They're all alive, is what I'm trying to get out. So I would definitely expect them to lose racks here. Unless the enemies are not good players. Bounty Hunter trying to do something.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
The enemies should just go in and fight here. Now the Enchantress is gonna get up soon. Nice silence there from the Drow. Looks like she even has a decent item or 2. Yeah, this Omni Knight is just messing things up for them pretty bad.
Wait up.
There we go. They just... yeah, so... they just didn't push hard enough. I have no other way to explain what's going on here. But the enemies just didn't push hard enough to be able to actually do something here. Again, failed to actually shackle the Bloodseeker to something, and that's something you're gonna pay for.
Monster triple kill!
Bloodseeker getting too fat. Yeah.
Radiant's top tower
Kinda
is
sad,
under
but
attack.
you know, kinda also what should happen. Like, the Bloodseeker is very fat. Like, he's got Sanchen Yasha, he's got a Hyperstone, and some other random shit, I don't even know. He's got a lot of
Radiant's
stuff.
top tower has fallen.
He's building a heart. I don't think that's the right thing to do here, but he's building a heart. Enchantress,
top
got a lot of
barracks are
random
under
stuff.
attack.
Our Luna has good items. This is pretty good. I would love to see her actually get a Helmet of the Dominator instead. Bounty Hunter, pretty
Radiant's
crappy.
top barracks are under attack.
I don't like a Vanguard on Bounty Hunter at all. That doesn't, you know, he's a very offensively minded hero, and I think should definitely be phase boots into probably a Desolator on him. Would have been a lot better. That would increase his killing potential a lot. Here he can just kind of soak up a bit of damage with this build. Not really good. Morphling. Oh, Eve Blade. That's a pleasant surprise. He can maybe do some stuff with that. Maybe not. Let's check up on our Windranger. She's still running around here. She does have 1000 mana now. Still, I think I have. Like, I think she's just gonna run out of mana again pretty soon. Because that seems to be her modus operandi. Just spend all the mana. Maybe a little bit unfair, but could definitely be playing a little bit more efficiently mana-wise.
Roshan has fallen to the Dire.
Again, the Roshan going down without them even knowing that was an option. So she sells the Null Talisman. Yeah. At least I think it was a Null Talisman. Doesn't really matter. She sells something not important. Finished up her Mystic Staff. Now her right click is at the point, and she's got level 2 Focus Fire, where it actually makes a little bit of sense. Now it's 160, only 40% reduction. So what is that? What is that? 60 damage reduction? 60 damage reduced or so?
Dire's top tower is under.
Yeah, we see now this
Radiant's
tower is
middle
taking a
barracks
lot
are
more
under attack.
significant damage from it now. They actually managed to push it down.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Very nice, but they are gonna lose racks for this. That's the Bloodseeker, he's here to party.
Radiant's middle barracks.
And that's the dead Bounty Hunter. Yeah. Yep. Bloodseeker's just balling out of control here. Nothing to stop him from doing whatever he please. Certainly not our hero, the Windranger. Not really in any position to do anything about that. So. Yeah. In general, I'm seeing a lot of common, lower level mistakes here.
Refund.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower.
And these are all kinds of things that just kind of add up. Oh, that Drow is gonna be sad about choosing to go in there.
Nature attend us.
Omni, he's gonna be sad. Oh, Windranger managed to die to the Zeus ultimate, but they got 3 kills for that one, and given the scores, given the
Radiant's middle
advantage
tower,
here.
Radiant
I think they can be
structures are
pretty damn
fortified.
happy with that. Yeah. Actually managed to kill the Bloodseeker. They managed to kill the Bloodseeker. That's very nice. 1400 gold going away of Morphling there. He's gonna be happy about that one. If he can get up. Oh, he's going Lincolns now. That's late. That's late Lincolns.
Radiant's top barracks are under attack.
I'm not a fan of that. I think he should probably just go for Butterfly. That would be better in pretty much every sense of the word. Butterfly or perhaps the Skadi. Though Butterfly almost certainly would be the better choice. He is almost gonna finish. Oh, he's not almost gonna finish it because Lincoln's is really, really expensive. Yeah. She is gonna finish the
Dire's
sheep stick now.
middle
She managed to
tower is
use this
under
very
attack.
well. They can actually come back at this point. It's gonna be very hard, but it isn't completely unrecoverable. Almost never completely unrecoverable at this level. Though if we take a look at the net worth, yeah, the Bloodseeker is kind of double the net worth of anyone else on the entire opposite team. So that's not good. They managed to kill the Drow. Drow, unfortunately, does not really matter at this point. She actually used her sheep stick there, probably on Omni. I'm actually gonna go back. I wanna see what she used her sheep stick on here. Very important to me. No, that was on the Zeus. Okay. Well, we are gonna watch what happens here. He goes in, goes for the power shot first. Power shot at this point we see not a super potent ability. Manages to shaggle a creep to the Omni Knight. There comes the Morphling, takes away half the Drow's hit points and more with a little combo there. The screen position really abhorrent here from our Windranger. Bounty Hunter finishes off the Drow. The Windranger sheeps up the Zeus. And there we go, the Zeus is getting burst down now. Very, very nice play actually. Very smooth engagement here. Now managed to shaggle the Omni Knight to the wall here. He's gonna be out of it for 3.75 seconds, giving the Windranger plenty of time to get out of harm's way, even though harm's way at this point is just an Omni Knight. Now the Omni Knight is in a really bad spot. So there's a Bloodseeker now. Bloodseeker kills off the...
Come get healed.
Yeah. At this point I think you pretty much just run from the Bloodseeker until you have your sheep stick.
Nice.
Triple kill.
So yeah, that went well until Bloodseeker showed up. Honestly, it did.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
Now it's personal.
Radiant's Ancient is under attack.
Yeah.
Radiant's top barracks are up. Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's Ancient is under attack. Radiant's Ancient is under attack. Dire victory.
There we go. There we are. Okay. So let's summarize here. I think certainly I'm actually pretty positively surprised for an 800 MMR game. This is pretty high level stuff. We even saw the Omni Knight blink in Purify to get the kill. That is very impressive. He does have a tag as well. That's cheating. Very pro having that tag. In the end, okay, just to clearly carve out the game. As we've been in lower level games, what happened here is this guy, the Bloodseeker, snowballed. He got kills, he kept getting kills, and then he just got items off of those kills. No one here has nearly as many last hits that they should as a 4-minute game. The one that's closest, the leading commander at 160, that's not completely embarrassing. Though she did manage... Okay, 160 with dying 10 times is actually not that bad, because the 10 times is a long time to be out of the game, honestly. But everyone here should have more last hits, just to be clear on that. So what matters most is the kills. The kills, there's a lot more kills at the lower levels here than there should be, and a lot less last hits, so a lot of the gold comes from the kills. So what happened here is the guy who managed to get a lot of kills early on managed to make some good item choices, and then just kinda got out of control. No one could stop him. That's the story, summed up really, really quickly. With regard to what this Windranger could have done by herself, in the laning stage, be less generous with your mana, be more conservative with it. Just once stuff happens, once someone makes a play, use your mana. Keep your mana up certainly for a shackle shot if you get gone on, or if you're going on them. If you're making a concerted effort to kill someone, you need your mana for your shackle shot, so you can actually stun someone in the moment where you and the Enchantress are trying to kill them, rather than at a moment where it doesn't really matter. Pretty basic stuff. But still, you found yourself way too often, especially after you build your mech, without any mana to use it. And you also didn't hook up as much with your teammates. You didn't really just join up with them and make a concerted effort to team fight somewhere. That might not have been enough. That might have been enough to win a game. But when you have a mech, I think that's what you should do. Really, the mech isn't doing anything if you're by yourself. It's just maybe keeping you alive. It isn't winning your team fight, which is really what an early mech's supposed to do. You're supposed to get this really, really good 250 AoE heal, which is supposed to give you the leg up, a huge leg up in your team fight, because 250 health early on might be as much as a third or even half of some heroes' health. If you give them an additional half of their health, that's a huge advantage. So that's kind of what I was hoping for you to do there. If you wanna, I would suggest maybe going for another way of playing, which is probably going into a more right-click focus, and then just grabbing your Cypher Vice earlier. Just skip the mech, skip the Basilisk, and just go for a Cypher Vice. Get really good at farming it up, be more conservative with your mana, have a TP scroll on you at all times, and then just jump in whenever you see an opportunity to fight. You did do a jump in on the lower lane at one point, the bot lane at one point, but by then everyone was dead. every comrade you had down there was dead, and it was just you against 3, though you did manage to make something happen after people showed up. But you just kind of TP'd in there, and was honestly pretty lucky they didn't just go on you at that point. Because you couldn't just take on 3 alone without mana. Yeah, you need to be... I see you play Windranger a lot. I took a look at your Dota buff, and you do have a lot of Windranger games logged in. Comparably, this is a quite new player, 200 games played or so, but a lot of those were Windranger games. So one thing in general you need to do is get a little better at hitting those shackle shots, and they are hard to hit. They are definitely a little bit voodoo over them, but it is just, you know, having something directly close behind the target. And behind means in a direct line from where you're standing toward the target, continuing that line about 500 in range. There needs to be something for it to latch onto, for it to be worth landing or using the shackle most of the time. Most of the time the 0.75 stun is not worth it on its own. You need the bigger stun. I would suggest always waiting with the focus fire spec until later on, and just putting a lot of points into shackle shot and power shot early on. Those 2 skills, I would probably say 1 level in Windrun pretty early on, and then 4 levels in those 2 by level 9. So you have level 4 shackle shot, level 4 power shot, and 1 level in Windrun by level 9. And then just when you have the good items, the items that buff your right click, you start getting your focus fire. So once you've had enough time to farm up your Cypher Vice or your Orchard, or maybe your Maelstrom if you go that route, then it's good to have your focus fire. Before that, it's really not very impressive. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. The main thing, the general play things I'm noticing is that your map awareness, pretty typically for a player of your level, isn't that great. So pay a little more attention to what's going on the map, and keep a TP scroll on you, and then just jump in whenever someone overcommits. Like if they're diving on the tower for kills, that's a good time for you to just jump in and just take a few easy kills. That's a very, very cute little thing you can do just by keeping a TP scroll on you. Very good thing to do to punish bad plays from your opponent. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to say for this game. I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you want to get some feedback on one of your games, the instructions for how to send it in will be in the description for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. My name has been Cerebellum. This has been Academy of the Ancients, and I'm out.